Can I say something? All right, everybody. Unlike the airlines, we leave on time. Let's go.
All right, guys. Welcome to the January Power Network group, Kickstarter. Who's excited for 2024? Yeah, 100%. We're going to kick off today. I want to thank some sponsors just to get right into it. I want to take a moment to introduce our sponsors. We have Enta Solutions, which is me and Adam. Yep. We have Dream Reach Achieve with Bruno Lindia, who you'll meet later. Yes. If you have not taken some of his training, you need to sign up. It is epic. YYC Calgary Business, who's hosting tonight. Thank you, YYC. Top Dog Marketing and Sales. Where's Greg? There he is. That's the man. Thank you, Greg. We've got Vanguard Cleaning Systems of Western Canada with John Sliga. John, thank you. And we have Lydia with GFS Law Firm. Where's Lydia? I haven't seen her yet today.
Stuck in traffic. Stuck
in traffic. We'll give Lydia another shout out so she can get recognized. And behind the screens here, we've got Peach Jam Records Kenton, and he does all of our sound production. He is amazing in the music industry. And, you know, Enta and him paired together, and we put together a team building workshop called Brand Anthem. So you get to actually go in studio and record. So any of you, like, people are honing in your inner rock star? Yeah, you gotta sign up for that. It's a ton of fun. All right. We want to get started. I know you guys have been doing some awesome networking. The whole point of today is to make meaningful connections, to drive business, to lift each other up, and really build an active network. So what I want you to do, we're going to play a little music, a band you might recognize, okay? We're going to play a little music, and I want you to meet at least 2 people, your quick elevator speech, shake hands, okay? Meet the person, make sure you don't already know them, and you can continue the conversation at break. So you have until the end of the song played by the ZBs.
And meet somebody other than your table. You got 2 minutes and 60 seconds, just 3 minutes. In the flesh.
In the flesh. Hey.
Just missed Miranda's husband. He's a Washington grad. And I was telling him I had got enough courage to say I think Ohio State should have beat Michigan. So he just missed talking to him. Ohio State should have beat Michigan. And Social Maryland should have beat Princeton. And that's a good thing. They're going to make it the national championship. It sounds good, eh? The NCAA, awesome. The NCAA and the FBI are investigating this shit. That's what I do. Harbaugh, go by national championship. That's why Harbaugh's not good.
He played here.
I'm focused on that.
Not just because I had to.
Jump in, okay? I can introduce you when you're ready. What? No matter what you do, there's
right, guys, good job. Find your seat. Okay, I'm going to introduce to you next, guys, the hosts for the show tonight. They're going to be managing all the conversations, welcoming up our amazing speakers we have. So with no further ado, we're going to jump right into the Power Network Group event here. And I would like to introduce Bruno Lindia, the amazing storyteller. You know that you cannot have a 1-minute conversation with Bruno. And we love him for it. And I want to introduce his co-host, the amazing, incredible, strategic mind, Miranda Salas. So please come up and give a warm round of applause for these two.
Nothing like having to follow Caitlin, hey?
Yeah, how do you follow that up?
Not entirely sure. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that the traffic and the roads might have not been ideal, so just kudos and round of applause for showing up. I know it's going to be worth it. So I'll let Bruno make a few intro comments if he has any, and then I'm going to introduce our first speaker with Emily.
Well, it's good to have you back, Miranda. Let's give her a big
I
round of applause. Because the
I
last
don't know how he does it without me, really.
Yeah, well, you know what? Caitlin did a great job. Miranda was saving the world at the CFL Grey Cup game.
I was.
That was a lot of fun.
It was.
Grey
yeah.
Cup's back on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the ZBs will play there too.
Well, I mean, halftime. Here we come.
Halftime. Well, we're playing at the Super Bowl. They just don't know about it. But that being said, it was a little bit of planes, trains, and automobiles for me to get here. So I was stranded for 5 days in different airports. And this one's for my friend Shreko. WestJet now has declared they don't believe in climate change anymore because there's no way after that, with all the snow and the cold, they're like, oh, there's no global warming, trust me. So anyways, I'm glad to be here. And Miranda, thanks for fielding my 300 calls. I might be there, I might not be there, you're going solo. And the other thing I want to point out is you do see the t-shirts out there, and Caitlin's gonna be talking about it. And there's 2 other members of the ZBs I'd like to introduce right now. Mr. Shreko Zizakovic.
Ayo.
And Mr. John Saliga. Yes, it's not Mark Knopfler. Couldn't afford him.
Well, so we should have started with that. Why did we go straight to his business? We should, that's the celebrity, right?
Well, before that, he was nobody. Sure, he owns a yacht. Did you know that? John Saliga owns yachts. John, you're going to get knocked off in the parking lot. You know that. Okay. Anyways, what else we got?
Okay. Well, we could stand here and banter all day, but I don't think they came to see us.
No.
Let's just get into it. Emily is our first speaker, and she has founded, look at this beautiful picture right here. Livino, lifestyle and fitness. Wow. She's a personal trainer focusing on physical movement, mindfulness, and nutrition. I'm sure if I shouted out a few of her clients, they're here tonight and will speak wonders to her incredible impact on their lives. So definitely as you're networking, start to ask people if they're looking fit. They're probably one of her clients. She offers personalized sessions online as well as in person at her studio. She also does corporate work, which is really exciting, hour-long classes and health coaching services to ensure that even employees in your company are maintaining good, healthy practices. And I think that that's going to be a really important conversation into 2024, people putting their health first. So this is why she's starting the show. Please join us.
Wow, thank you so much, Miranda, for that wonderful
introduction. And good afternoon or evening, everyone here. I feel so privileged to have this opportunity to speak to you. Some of you I know, so it's so wonderful to see familiar faces in the audience. As Miranda said, I'm in the wellness industry, personal training, a lot of years. One of the things that really inspired me to care so much about my health is my dad, who's 20 years older than my mom. And it's an interesting story, and I'm going to keep it short because I have a lot to say. But it started me on this quest of the thought, how can I increase my life, my lifespan? Like, what is it that I'm going to need to do to live the longest, healthiest life possible? Because I wanted that from my dad. And I observed his habits. He exercised. He would wake up at the crack of dawn and exercise to gospel Western music, and it would be loud, and he would do his exercises. He would go for walks, and he smoked, but as long as he did that, my dad was healthy. I'm like, wow, he's gonna be around, okay, good. And then there was kind of a day where he stopped, and it was like night and day, the person he became when he stopped moving his body. And it gave me this experience of, wow, I need to take care of myself. Whoa, I don't have a clicker.
Oh, it's right there, right behind you.
Okay, there it is. Where do I point it? Right. Bruno, you warned me about this.
Oh, don't look at me.
Do I push the green button?
We don't know how
Do I-
that works.
Do I push the green button? Or
We're
I'm
just with
pushing
the
arrow.
band.
You should be pushing the arrow.
Oh, okay.
Is that good?
That's good.
All
Thank you,
right.
Kate.
All right, good job, Caitlin.
Awesome, Kate. So, okay, what we're talking about health, wealth, and relationships. Obviously, my role is in the health department. But does anyone know what the actual definition of health is? If you look it up in the dictionary, you know what it says? No. The absence of illness or injury. Has anyone been injured here? Has anyone been sick? Like ever in your entire life? So at some point, you've been unhealthy. Okay, well, that doesn't really inspire me to want to care about my health. So you have to figure out, well, why? Why do you want to be healthy? What's important to you in your life? What does being healthy support you to do? We all have things we care about, families, jobs, purpose. And I put this picture up here today because, I'm a shamanic Chinese medicine practitioner, therapist. One of the things I do is I offer Qigong treatments and teach Qigong movement. And it is a very powerful healing modality that supports your body's natural healing. Because there is a secret about how to support your body to live a long time. And the secret is you have to understand how your body works. Your body is built with all these receptors. So say your goal is I want to get stronger. I want to do 5 pull-ups. You have to tell the mechanoreceptors in the muscles that are involved with a pull-up to work. And guess what? Those mechanoreceptors do nothing unless you tell them what you want them to do. So even as everyone is sitting here right now, your mechanoreceptors are on a coffee break. They're your construction workers for your construction site, AKA your body. And you're the CEO. If you never give your body commands like that, guess what it's doing? It's not doing nothing. There's only 2 directions to go, growth or decay. And newsflash, if you're over the age of 25, roughly, you are naturally decaying. I'm sorry to tell you that. But if you're not doing anything about it, guess what's going to happen? Things are not going to get easier. Trust me, I know. I've been doing fitness for over 20 years. It doesn't get easier. Do you think that motivates me? I'm like, I don't wake up in the morning saying, gosh, I really want to do 50 squats today. No, but I understand what it's going to give me. And again, that's where the why comes in. So physically, why is this thing changing? I'm not even pushing the button. Okay, so you have your physical body that you work on, and then you've also got like your thoughts and your emotions. And you know, I have an idea that everybody in this room is dealing with something, not just your body. You're dealing with life, you're dealing with stress, you're dealing with loss, challenges. It's not easy to be human. We've all got challenges in life. And sometimes those challenges cause us to think certain ways, like, ugh, so hard. Life sucks. I don't think anyone in here thinks that. I think all you guys are bright, shining stars. But every once in a while, you might catch yourself thinking a negative thought or having a negative feeling. And you can have the opposite effect. You can love yourself. Someone else can tell you that they love you. Someone else can praise you and give you a compliment. And some of you might have, it did it again, heard of Emoto's study on water and the effect that water has, or it has this memory of vibration. And one thing that you absolutely should know is that your body is mostly water. I think everybody knows that, and so is your food. And so there's a reason to put energy into your food, good energy. Pray into your food before you eat it, because you're helping the healing process. When it comes to your body, you can talk to your body. You can say great things to your body, and your body will respond. Your body has a spirit. Everybody has a body spirit. I didn't get to go into that too much. But essentially, how do you create the best environment for your body to heal? And that's by looking at yourself as more than just this physical body. And yes, you were given the body that you've got. You've got all the tools, or maybe you don't. If you don't know what to do with this body, then ask for help. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to encourage anyone who is willing and ready to have a conversation to better your health and find out the ways that you can do that. And there's multiple ways. There is some information in everybody's brochure that they got for a Women Who Lift program, which I encourage, of course, all the women in the room to join. It doesn't mean you can't work with me if you're not a woman, but there are physiological differences between men and women that are really important. And so the environment that you're in makes a huge difference. There will be special offers sent out to everybody as well at the end of this event. And I just want to thank you all for taking the time to be here and to hear me out. And oh yeah, if you have no idea what those pink things are on your table, those are, Kate, you want to demonstrate? Kate's going to do an impromptu demonstration. So it's just a little tool that you can use to help build strength and stimulate those muscles. Now it's a very light resistance, so don't worry, you're not going to hurt yourself. But you can use it to strengthen your upper body, your lower body. You could wrap it around your legs. You can walk sideways with it on. Kate's going to do it. She's a trooper. Awesome. And then do sidewalks, yeah, back and forth. We worked upper body today, so she can do a little bit more lower body work. It's all good. You're awesome, Kate. All right, that's it. That's. Please, Bruno and Miranda, come on.
All right, let's give her a big hand.
Okay, I know what my 2024 goals are. Thank you for that. I mean, I probably speak for everyone in the room when I say I could listen to you for the next hour and still know nothing. So thank you for that snapshot of educating us on our body and how we can kickstart 2024 in a positive way. And I definitely encourage you guys, anybody who is interested in changing their body and their lifestyle, find her, network, connect, send an email, send a pigeon, whatever you need to do to get going.
I got a pigeon. I got a pigeon, and it's called Reggie.
We have a few burning questions. I'm going to let Bruno start, and then don't worry. At the end, we will have an opportunity for you guys to drill all of our speakers with your burning questions. So it's our turn now.
Do I ask the first one?
Yeah.
This is, I do have a question, and but I want to tell you how timely it is because I never used a trainer. And this is not shamelessly endorsing you. It's the actual truth. This is how we met. And I am going to make a comment and ask a question. So if you guys are okay with this, is that I guess we could have brought millions of people that claim to do what you do. And I never used a trainer. It's not that I didn't believe in it. I was ashamed. And this is about kickstarting 2024. Kick some bad habits and whatever you want to call New Year's resolutions. But a year ago, last Friday, I got hit by a car. And in Tampa at the New York Yankees tournament team. Right now, like about half hour ago, I got a call, Facebook live thing from my teammates. They're playing right now. So I wasn't able to make it this year. And they knew I was going live here or whatever. And I got to tell you, I came back and I wasn't going to get cleared. So now I'm in a bit of a jam. I got to go see somebody or else they won't clear me. How midlife crisis is this? Like, you know what I mean? And it was the first time I'd done really something for myself. Long story short, I started using, I said, okay, fine. Where's Greg Belanger? Introduced me to Emily and I was like, fine, I need something to clear. And my question is also a comment is that you mentioned something during one of our kind of workouts. And you get older. And I don't know what I was doing, but doing something wrong. But and you said, okay, slow down. And I've done a lot of reflecting on this. Was maybe the body's getting older? And I was never an athlete. I was more of a player. There's a big difference between being an athlete and a player. I could play a game a little bit. But to be an athlete, you got to be really an athlete, okay? And you said something, you said, slow down, stop. Your brain goes way faster than your body ever can right now, right? And as you get older, I don't know if that's pivotal for you guys, but that was game-changing for me. So I know it's a long story because I want to give context. And it's really important to give context. There's not a chance in hell I would have used a trainer or anything because I was just like, I'm just going to work through my injuries. I hurt my leg, I'm going to run even faster, get better faster. So I just want to maybe spend a few minutes, if you can, where in the world did you come up with that? Because that was earth-changing, life-changing for me. And as we get older, our thoughts are faster, or would you say? So anyways, our thoughts are faster, but our bodies can't keep up. Walk us through that.
Well, first of all, that was not on a list of questions to ask.
Gotta live.
But to add to what your question is, or what I think you're trying to say, is we often this is this relationship that we have between the body and the mind, and sometimes we think our body is able to do something, and it isn't, and vice versa. Sometimes the body can do something, but the mind doesn't think it can. And you have to start developing that relationship for yourself. So, Bruno, you're intelligent, right? You think, that sometimes there's just a lot of thinking energy going on and not enough being in the body energy. So it's just about developing that dynamic of your own mind-body connection.
And talking less.
Talk less.
No. I think that's fantastic. And my question to you, we're here, it's January. How many times do we have these conversations about, New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to be healthier, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then by the end of January into February, life happens, and we're like, maybe in the spring, maybe in the summer, maybe in the fall. Like, what words of advice do you have for somebody that's thinking about that journey. You know, I know a lot of people that are like, maybe I need to get in shape before I hire a personal trainer. You know, that like those moments of insecurities. Like, what's your approach? What's your conversation like with somebody who's just on that cusp of like, I know I need to do something, but I don't know what?
That's a great question because it's so common. And it does touch as well on how much time you spend thinking. Again, the mind is very active. It's a very, very active place, sometimes more active than the body. And you have to do what you can to get more in your body. So there's that. And also, if you're not really clear on being able to move forward and take that action step of just going to a gym, finding a trainer, then you might need to spend a little bit more time understanding why. Why do you want to go to the gym? Why do you want to be healthy? You have to get to the core of who you are and what makes you tick. Because you don't ever question going to work or making a paycheck. Or taking your kids to school, or taking care of them when they're sick. You don't sit there and think about it. You just act. And so the reason why you act without thinking is because you are driven by your why. So I would really implore people to spend more time being more introspective and really know, why is it important to you.
That's great. Good job. I kind of have a quick question for you is more people right now are going back to work, like physical work, like to their location. And I know you do corporate training. Is it whatever you call it, corporate sessions? Walk us through, because I know I get in a bit of a jam because I go into the office every day, and I hate going for runs in the middle of the day, right? So what would you say to, I guess, corporations, small businesses? It doesn't have to be this glorious big gym that you have to get a little bit of corporate training, right?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, really all you need is your body. Your body is what does all the movement, and it's just a matter of understanding, okay, well, how can I get those ab muscles to start showing up? How do I get my glutes firing? A lot of people spend extreme amounts of time sitting. And if you fall into that category of spending, 6 to 8 hours a day of sitting, guaranteed those mechanoreceptors are a little bit underactive. So there's many ways that corporations can bring in a trainer. You can have like lunch hour sessions where it's like a team building experience. And so you get to actually bond with your coworkers, your team, your employees, and have this experience where you're all doing something positive for yourself. And also, the more the merrier. It's kind of like group suffering in a way. It's better to suffer with other people than it is all by yourself.
You're really selling it.
Suffering's optional, by the way, but pain is necessary.
Amazing. We're gonna wrap up with Emily. There'll be an opportunity for questions afterwards, but I'm just gonna leave this with one. I can't be the last voice. You have to be. So, what's one piece of advice? It's January. It's cold outside. Everybody's motivated by what you had to say. What's one piece of advice moving forward to take this into action?
Well, make a choice. I don't know if I mentioned this, but again, your body is either decaying or it's growing.
No one's going to forget that.
No one's going to forget that. Good. If that's the one thing you take away, awesome. So just make a choice. What path do you want to be on? Are you on a path of growth, or are you on a path of decay? And then make sure your actions are showing it. That's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're gonna, just before we introduce our next guest, I gotta share a quick story about Emily, okay? So I was kind of getting over the hump. You're gonna love this story, and this is true. You guys want to hear a good story? We're having some fun, right? What the hell? It's fucking freezing out there, so who cares? So what else are you gonna do? Like start your car? Okay. So I was kind of getting over the hump of having a trainer, and I was getting better, and I was starting to get cleared. And then she says, you know what? You should do these, whatever you call these things, like the steps. Go to, whatchamacallit, what do you call that place? On Crescent Heights? Yeah, I'll go. Don't worry about it. When are you going to go? Well, I'm going to go, I don't know, Saturday morning, right? What time? I don't know, what time should I go? I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock. Okay, no problem. So I show up and she shows up. I'm like, shit, I gotta do this. Right? Like I was gonna go up, have a smoke, have a donut, double, and she showed up. So that's when I knew you were in it to win it. And I've rarely met anybody that really wants you to succeed than you do. So, I really appreciate that because it's been kind of life-changing. So, our next guest, I'm not gonna lie, first degree connection on LinkedIn. It's right here. It was a cut and paste. I made a mistake, but it's first degree. Okay. Lisa Elle is a wealth strategist, CFP, financial author. She's got a book out there called Strut, How to Kick Financial Assets. And she's the CEO of her company. Lisa Elle, I got to give you a little bit of, a lot of love out there because when we started Megapix, she was one of the first believers. And we really had very little. And I love the fact that you believed in us and you're doing great. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lisa Elle.
Thank you, Bruno. Hello.
We talking money now.
Yeah, this is getting serious.
Okay.
How are we gonna get going? I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
Are you ready? I think a good place to start is just outlining what is holistic finance planning and how does it work? Like, what are you doing?
What am I doing with the rest of my life? This is what I'm doing. So what I do is I do holistic financial planning, which means we look at the entire financial picture of your financial life. Everything from estate planning, tax planning, investment planning, insurance planning, so much fun. And what we do is we really base it off of what your goals are. Your goals are the destination where we're trying to reach. I liken myself to the captain of the ship, and I like to help steer you in the right direction to help reach those goals. So our goals are the boss, and that's what we're trying to aim for. So that's how I basically situate that with my clients when they're asking me, like, how does this work? What are we doing? And I'm like, we're gonna go through everything. We're gonna go through your taxes. We're gonna be best friends, okay? Because let me tell you, your financial planner knows the most about you. If I'm doing insurance with you, I know all about your health. If I'm doing your money stuff, I know all about your money situation. I know everything about you, more than your family doctor. So we are going to be best friends. Also important that you totally love and trust your financial planner, because they know everything about you. And I also know which family members you do not like, which brother-in-law is excommunicated from the family, and which child you don't want to leave money to in your will. I know all of that, because that is what I do when we go through all of that to make sure all the pieces are working together to help you reach your goals. So again, you want to pick a financial planner that you love. I am a huge fan of and promoter of the certified financial planners. So the big thing with holistic independent financial planning is that you want someone who's independent, so they're not like tied to what I liken as the corner bank. Nothing wrong with our banking system, nothing wrong with specific firms that do these things, but it's nice to be able to tie everything together. And unfortunately, when you walk into a corner bank, you're not going to be getting holistic advice. You're getting sold products, and that's just the reality, basically, because they have quotas. So when you're working with an independent who does not have quotas on them and is not forcing a product down your throat, a lot of times we liken to fiduciary financial planning. And the other thing too is we offer fee-only financial planning, where you can pay and you're just getting pure advice. We're not trying to sell a product. So that's the difference, and that's, I think, what first of all you want to look for when you're looking for a financial planner. Feel free to work with me, but I know there are amazing financial planners out there. I know there's a few in this room. Hey, wave your hand over there. Yeah, I know. The point is, I just really want you to find a good financial planner that will work with you with your goals. The other thing is, the reason why this is all broken down, and okay, this is how it all started. I wrote an article for the Huffington Post back in 2016, and it's called, Are you treating your investments like a one-night stand? And this is what's happening. We are treating our money like a one-night stand. And why are we doing that? Because we are running off to H&R Block. Sorry, not to bash H&R Block, but we're running off on April 30th to get our taxes done. And on March 1st, we're running off to the corner bank to throw some money in our RSPs. And we're treating it not like a proper relationship. We need to be treating our money like a long-term loving marriage relationship or something like that. I don't know, I'm single, so I have no idea, but let's pretend we know how amazing a great relationship is, and that's how you should be treating your money, okay? Maybe some of you know what a great relationship is like, but that is the kind of relationship you want to be having with your financial planner, and so that's why I wrote that article, because society-wise, it serves the big banks. I mean, look who are the richest people in the country, the banks, the insurance companies, everything. They're important, we need them. I'm not, again, bashing them, but what I'm saying is that you want to really just have a relationship, because when my clients call me, I know everything about them, so I can give them advice, and that relationship is so key to building wealth. So, yeah, does that explain it?
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Yeah, when my uncle Guido
Guido, of course.
calls his financial planner, which is his wife, and he says, "Show me the money." So do the Italian clients go do that to you? Show me the money.
I need more Italian clients.
You need more Italian clients,
clearly.
yeah. Sorry, I actually promised my son Matteo I would actually use that saying, but anyways, he's watching in Indiana. Show me the money. That's what he says to me all the time. Show me the money. So how do we start off? How do we kickstart 2024 from a financial point of view? You know, you touched on taxes and stuff like that. We're 4 months away. How do you kickstart it? How do we get this thing going?
We're not 4 months away. We're like 3.5.
Oh,
Oh,
hey, I've been
Listen,
dude, it's not January 1st.
I
Yeah.
like to be a solid June 1st tax.
Actually, yeah.
that
Don't
means
worry.
nothing to me.
There is
Accountants
no
are way less
shame if
busy
you have
do it
not
late.
filed your taxes for 5 years. I actually had like 10 clients last year that came to us that have not filed somewhere between 4 to 7 years. So there are a lot of people who have not filed taxes. So first of all, if that's you, there is no shame in that whatsoever. That's just your relationship with the CRA, and we know how that relationship is.
Toxic.
Yeah, it's toxic. Get rid of that. Get them out of your life. What was the question?
How do you
Oh,
How do we
Kickstart
kickstart
2024.
2024?
Yes, okay. Do file your taxes. I so want to say the opposite. Do file your taxes. No, so the biggest thing would have to be do not procrastinate. Procrastination is the #1 killer of your wealth. The most successful people in the world, and I know I'm preaching right now to the choir, are people who make decisions fast and don't regret them after they've made them. So do not procrastinate. #2, when you're setting big goals, first of all, set really big goals, and don't worry on the how you're going to get there. Just release the how. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Just keep setting those goals. Keep putting one step in front of the other. Follow those nudges, that gut feeling. Just keep going, because I think that's so huge. And the other thing is, get rid of all the energy vampires in your life. There are a lot of energy vampires that are sucking the life out of you. Those could be humans. They could also be scrolling social media, Poshmark, yeah, right? Like, yeah, online shopping, Amazon. What else do you do that kills time? Anything that's really draining your energy, though. See, although shopping online gives me energy. So that's not an energy
problem.
vampire, yeah. So it has to be something that's sucking the life out of you, not giving you life. But get rid of those, because that's going to free up your space to take on bigger, better clients. And don't be too upset if you, and I know most of you in here are business owners or have a business of some sort. If you lose a client, this happened to me today, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because I know someone needs to hear this. There are clients that are going to come in and out of your life, and just remember that if a deal doesn't work out, or a sale doesn't close, or a client leaves you for whatever reason, that it's freeing up space for the bigger and better clients to find you and reach you. So I think that's a good thing. And same with your money. That goes same with your money. So the other thing too is if you're doing investments, if you haven't lost money, I don't think you're trying hard enough. and that's the truth. Like, if you're so safe and you haven't lost a penny ever, I don't think you're trying hard enough. So go out there, try. You're gonna fall flat on your face. You're gonna lose money. I'm gonna tell you about my, like, right now it's sitting at about a $600,000 mistake. I'm sure by the time it's finished, it's gonna be about $1 million. So I know all about loss, but we keep going. We make bad investment decisions sometimes when we're in our 20s, and you kind of pay for them. You keep going, keep moving on. Yeah. So that's kind of my advice to Kickstart, just that mindset, right?
Love it. These guys are going to keep telling us to wrap up, and we're just going to keep talking.
No, that's
Yeah.
wrong time. I'm
I'm
we
just
got
kidding.
lots of time.
We got time for one more burning question, and I think that clearly your energy is contagious. And so when we talk about energy and finding the right fit and finding the right people, and I'm sure Emily could speak to this too, is like finding that person that you trust in that journey is half the battle, right? And especially if it's, I don't know if you're like me, I'm like, this doesn't interest me. I don't want to spend energy in it. So I need someone that I trust to make decisions for me and to be like, hey, by the way, taxes are due. But in all seriousness, your energy is encouraging, and I want to know in 2 minutes or less if you can explain to me the energy of money, and then how do I talk to you about it?
Okay, so in all my big keynotes that I've done recently, I've like spoken to this in corporate settings. But we're going to talk a little bit about energy, because money is energy. Money is a currency. It's current, right? That's going through you. So I talk about the feminine and masculine sides of money, and the masculine and feminine sides, energy of money. So what this is the masculine side of money is structure, I'm going to mess up. Structures, spreadsheets, systems, and strategies. Those are all the masculine side of money. And you need those structures as the foundation. They're like this dance floor. They're like the foundation you need. The feminine side of money is the dance of money. And the feminine side of money needs to kind of dance on top of the dance floor, right? So you need that structure in place before you can be on the feminine side of money. The feminine side of money is being in flow, creativity, ideas, expansion, abundance, flow, giving, all the fun stuff, like the creative side of your brain, right? The ideas, the things like, oh, we're gonna do this event, we're gonna do this, da 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 da. But then you need the systems, the structures, the strategies, and the spreadsheets. So here's the thing, we're all in one of these camps. Most of us default to one side or the other. Now, 90% of people that come to me need help with the masculine side of money, because most of us are ideas and business ideas and da 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 da. Then I have there's a few clients that come to me and they're like so in their spreadsheets that they suck the joy out of their money. So those clients, I'm like, okay, you need to go and actually spend money, because you've like totally sucked the life out of all your money with all those spreadsheets. I'm like, you're giving me a headache. The feminine side of money, where a lot of people are at with their money and their business ideas, and just not focused on the systems in place, especially for CRA. We need to work and create those systems. So that's what I really help clients with, is the masculine side of money. So I just want you to know that analogy and really understand it, because you're going to be in one of those two camps. And if you are in the feminine side of money, which most of you are, with your ideas and your businesses, I want you to really make sure you have those systems in place. And good news, you can hire it out. You don't have to do all of that yourself, because it is painful, and a lot of us put our head in the sand about those system strategies, spreadsheets, all of it. Because we don't like that. Who likes doing any of that? I don't even like doing it. It's my business. So, yeah, so there you go.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We didn't even get into your book, but there'll be lots of time for networking, and we have more questions coming. So I want you to hold on to that. We're going to dive into the next segment, and then we're going to come back with even more hard-hitting questions, because these are unregulated.
So
we have no censorship here.
I've really noticed.
Awesome, but thank you so much, ladies. And I think Bruno's up.
Oh,
Or no, Caitlin.
yeah, sure, why not? We're going to bring, I don't know if you guys are old enough, I call Caitlin, Caitlin. OJ's the most popular house guest, right? So we're going to be bringing up. Caitlin's going to do a couple of announcements. I do want to, before we go, to encourage you guys to go out there. We're not shamelessly promoting our band. We've actually never played live. It is for a cause. My good friend Anila is back there. Please, Anila, stand up for a second. We are raising money for the Center for Newcomers, and we're going to get Anila to come here. So when you're purchasing a t-shirt, all the proceeds go to Center for Newcomers, and let's just be serious, you're going to be cool. And so anyways, again, Shreko's going to be signing. Johnny's going to be signing. The Colonel, why don't you stand up? Nobody's seen you here. Okay, this is the Colonel. We call him the Colonel Kenton because he discovered us. So we're just not making money in this and that and the other thing. We are promoting to make life a lot better for a lot of people that are struggling, right? So.
Yeah, thank you, Bruno. And let's be honest, it's exclusive, right? Because they're only sold here. So, one thing I'd like to do is do an introduction to a couple people here today. Chris Eater, can you please stand up? Yeah, hi, Chris. Chris has an amazing software solution called ePlatform, and he's really helped us automate this process. Now we're in the middle of doing all the automation, so even the next one's going to be so seamless, so easy to use. Everything will be digital online, check-in, reminders. You're actually going to get all of these offers sent to your emails and phones. So if you registered, you're in, and you have all of it coming to you, so you don't have to stress about it. That program is just incredible. You can talk to him about it. We can give you links. There's going to be a link in the offer if you want to talk to Chris about it. It's just helping nurture your clients, all through the sale and to the customer experience afterwards. And we wrote him a process because we're nerds. And the next week he's like, yeah, here, it's done. It's like, oh, you did it for me. It was an incredible experience. So I just want to give him a big thank you. It's really helped out. This events are not easy to run, so it's really helped us out. One other one I want to give a shout out to is Tirza. Tirza, can you please stand up? Yeah. Tirza made the lovely cupcakes. Who had a cupcake? Oh yeah, right? Yeah. So Tirza has an app called Swapify, and you probably saw signs to download it out there. What this app does is talking about currency. It is trade currency. So instead of trading for money, you can swap, right? And so in fact, we got those cupcakes here today because we swapped Tirza for some video. And so being able to swap and remove the currency piece can sometimes allow us to get more in our businesses and say, I can offer my services for your services, products, stuff at home that you don't want anymore. This is a really cool way to do it. So I highly recommend you download the app, and maybe you can see when we network for the next 10 minutes while we take a bio break before I bring up the amazing Ian Hill. Why don't you see if you can make a swap? And if you have questions on how to do that, ask Tirza, she'll be around. But tell me if you can make a swap here tonight. I would love to see somebody do a trade to help each other out, to lift each other up. That would be amazing. So if anybody can do that and tell me by the end, there might be something in it for you. So
In 10 minutes or less.
in 10 minutes or less. Ready? And go. Thanks, guys. We'll be back in 10 minutes. All right. So tell me, did anybody do any good swaps out there? Any trades? Any partnership deals? Anything? Anybody? I got one. I did one. So, Tammy Jo, you want to stand up, Tammy Jo? This is Tammy Jo. She is an amazing interior designer, and she does custom art, and she makes your room come alive with her art, customized to your style, your color, everything to really pop the room. I'm going to get my own piece of custom art, and I'm exchanging some business strategy and social media content, and so we are going to have some fun swapping. So hopefully you did make some good connections. Maybe those swap conversations take place afterwards, but right now we're going to bring on Bruno and Miranda again to start the second half, and they're going to introduce our next amazing speaker. Put your hands together, Bruno and Miranda.
I took the mic from Bruno because I've renegotiated your cupcake contract because they're too good and you did not spend enough. Like whatever she's doing, I'm gonna take 10 home with me. But I already told her, I'm like, I hope that you got a lot out of that. She feels valued, but I renegotiated because
Okay.
amazing. Like who had a cupcake? Like forget about the networking. They were amazing, right?
And we don't want to leave any here, so if you have kiddos at home, make sure you take a couple home for your kiddos. I'm going to be doing that.
They're never gonna make it home to the kids. Come on.
Who's kidding who?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat them all. My kids will never know. Okay, it's all you, Bruno.
Okay, so our last part of the program, just before we get into it, we have a couple of little surprises, always full of surprises here. We wanted to thank everybody on Facebook Live, Google, whatever, all that fun stuff, watching us. We have people in Tampa watching us. Ottawa, just got a thing saying stuff. I got to thank my partner Miranda, my partner Greg, and Elle, and our great partners at Enta Solutions, YYC Calgary Business. Just a few short years ago, I think you guys remember the pandemic. And Miranda and I were talking. You remember that?
No.
Miranda and I were talking. We didn't know each other very, very well. And kind of had a crazy idea, let's take over the world for small businesses. And right now, with a little bit of belief, COVID kind of shut us down, didn't slow us down. As of today, we're in 9 cities. And I think by the end of February, we're going to be in 14. Okay? So I can't take any of the, whatever you call it, credit. It is our business community. This is a little community that got our asses handed to us during the oil bump, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I don't remember that either.
No, you don't remember. We were all asleep.
No. But I think I speak with Bruno on this as well, as this is a testament to the community that has been built, and we had very little to do with that. We just had an idea and a concept and what ifs, and the people that we have engaged with, the people that have believed in what we're doing and wanted to get on board and have these crazy ideas and show up to these networking events and be on podcasts and have interesting conversations and network, which I think is huge for small business, has just been phenomenal. I don't think that we could have envisioned it any better, and COVID just added to that amplification of wanting to connect and good people trying to do good things in the community and beyond. And so we're just very humbled and thankful that so many people turn out for these types of things and want to connect and believe in what we're trying to accomplish in creating this community. So a big thank you before we get to the final.
Yeah, and don't be ashamed to celebrate your successes. Sometimes you got to walk around small business, medium-sized business, and say, you know what? We had a good day. We survived. Okay? Celebrate your connections that you're going to be making out here. We're going to have Ian Hill, great speaker. Forget about just being a great speaker. The cause is incredible. And I think the one thing that I just maybe not steal from Ian, just be kind to each other. Okay? Don't forget somebody. All right? And I have to credit my amazing partners for never forgetting on how tough the world is. And they're always there, never, ever put me down for being just a long talker because I got a lot of crazy ideas. Remember, Emily, my mind goes really fast. Never personal. It's always about winning, conquering with others. You can't win on a team of one. It's impossible. So with that being said, we want to celebrate a couple other things. How many Grey Cup rings do we have in this room? Put up your hand if you have a Grey Cup ring.
What a great guy. I've been to the.
Put up your hand, seriously. Okay? I was just thinking about this, and you know who was supposed to be here was, we invited Tom and Tony, and they can be here, but I was just thinking about this. So in as much as we want to celebrate our community, I also want to give back to new communities that are being built across Canada and the United States for amazing causes. And I'm going to let Ian, do his stuff. But I want to bring up two people that you guys have known. I mentioned Shreko. Shreko's bigger than everybody because he's in the CBs. But anyways.
He's in the band, yeah.
He's in the band. But I want to bring up, I'm sure you guys know Randy Chevrier and Sheldon Spastek. So Chevy and Nasty, they were on, was it the Fan 960 for years before social media was around, lighting our lives up, getting to know the inner workings of professional football, giving a lot of young kids inspiration, right? And Randa's, she's with the CFL. Like a lot of kids want to be in the NFL, CFL. And they're on a little bit of a mission with their great show, The Ride is Back, all right? So I'd like to bring up Chevy and Nasty to introduce Ian Hill. So come on up. And before we go on, the 300-pound poets, you guys are honorary members of the ZBs.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
It's an extra medium.
Oh, I think that's
I think that's called a medium, but thank you very much.
we got the extra small. Well, we want each,
This is
you know,
2X.
the two. We got two.
Oh, so the
We
extra
got one,
small
we got
was for
one.
Randy. Okay, I see what's going on here.
There you go. That's
All right. Why I put it on? Because when I played, they called me Johnny Free Shit. So I love free stuff.
As they get dressed, we did go off script here a little bit, and Ian will appreciate this because Bruno and I.
Oh, thanks, Bruno. This was Bruno's Florida T-shirt. This is the one he was wearing at the beach before he came.
Yes, look at that. Okay.
Nicely done, Chev.
Who better to introduce Ian than someone that have been working closely for an incredible cause, and so we wanted to pass the mic off. Although I could speak in spades about Ian and what he's trying to accomplish, but I think you guys know better than ever because you're involved in what he's trying to accomplish. So I will stop talking.
Thanks, Miranda. First of all, thanks for having us, Bruno. I just pulled up about 10 minutes ago. I had finished work at 5 p.m. and I drove, I got dressed from my uniform and I drove across. Took me about 45 minutes. And Bruno's like, yeah, we called an audible. You're going to be going up with Sheldon to speak and introduce Ian. So I was like, oh, okay. Thanks, Bruno. But what I noticed is, I'm a pretty big guy. Like, I'm 6'3", I'm 270 pounds, and I was sitting between Sheldon and Shreko, and I felt like the tiny little brother on, if you ever seen the Lucky Luke cartoons, the three Dalton brothers, I was the little guy. I don't like that feeling of being in between two huge guys. So yeah, thanks for making me feel small, Sheldon.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. And back in the day, we used to have that little radio show, the Chevy and Nasty show, dumb little 1 hour a week show that kind of caught on for a while. And we got out of it, and a few years later, we're realizing we're missing that connection within Calgary. You're raising kids, everything's great, you're a dad, but we missed the camaraderie of the locker room and the old football talk. And so we were talking, maybe we should start this thing up. But our bodies are all beat up now. We're long from playing the sport anymore. But in comes, I can't even remember how we met the guy. Ian Hill, guy out of California, 5'8", 145 pounds, soaking wet. And I'm not going to tell his whole story, but he's in training on a special mission right now. And he's just trying to get into the game that Chevy and I left years ago. But I'll tell you what, this guy is a man of many hats, and he's a man of a lot of action. I'm from small town Saskatchewan. This guy's been through more small town cafes, bars, and hotels than I ever have in my entire life. Guys, this is going to be an absolute treat to hear Ian's story today. He's got a story to tell. And with that, no further ado.
No further ado. Welcome, Mr. Ian Hill.
First of all, these guys are monsters, and they're a part of a television network that we'll talk about in a second. But I have to go to lunch with these guys, and I have to pay. No, I don't have to pay, but I usually pick up the bill. And this guy always takes us to some Italian place, and it always costs us a fortune. No, that's not true. If you don't know, Randy also serves in our community as a fireman. So will you give him some love, please? And Sheldon has I'm supposed to be on my mark. Sorry, my man. Give these guys a round of applause, too. They're doing a phenomenal job. And Sheldon owns a video drone company, works with a lot of realtors all across Calgary and southern Alberta. As Sheldon mentioned a moment ago, I do hail from Lake Tahoe, Nevada. And if you've ever been there, it's a gorgeous place. I've been doing business in Canada for 24 years. I've been in 600 Canadian communities. I've been to Shashashi, Labrador. Anybody been to Shashashi, Labrador? No. My Canadian experience changed me as a man. I'm a better man because of Canada. Yeah? Yeah. It's true. From Twillingate, Newfoundland to Salmon Arm, BC, from Pincher Creek, Alberta, Gravelburg, Saskatchewan, Canada changed me as a human being. My kids have sat in Prime Minister's chair. I have been in the House of Commons on the private side. Why? Because we donated 168 playgrounds across Canada. Canada's been very good to me financially. It changed my life, and we figured we had to give back. So we started honoring fallen soldiers. Anthony Bonecka, Corporal Kluge, Answorth Dreyer, Captain Goddard, Corporal Albert Storm, Mark Graham. You may not know their names, but their parents cried on my shoulder as we built them a playground. Canada changed my life. I don't know what Bruno and Miranda had for me to say, but I don't usually do what people want me to. So I'm just going to talk to you from my heart about the greatness of Canada. On my 50th birthday, I walked downstairs and told my family I was going to kill myself. 2 weeks before that, I'd been nominated to the Prime Minister's Social Innovator of the Year because of all that good work we had done. We were all volunteers. We just want to make a difference. I remember being in Cold Lake. We had built 2 playgrounds, and it gave me a key to the city. I went to my hotel room, and I just cried. Who can explain depression? Who can explain the challenges of the human mind? You feel inadequate. You don't think you're worth it. You don't think you have what it takes. Everyone's clapping for you. Everyone wants to talk to you, but you feel alone in a crowded room. And you think that you never will fit in. On my 50th birthday, I walked downstairs and said, I don't want to live no more. Literally 2 weeks after being recognized as being somebody. I went on a 2.5-year journey through the wilderness of mental health issues. When I came out on the other side of that, I told the world that I was going to kick the shit out of depression. You know that in the time that we talk, 40 Canadians will attempt suicide? An hour. An hour. And if you add up all of North America, over 4,000 people attempt suicide today. You say, Ian, this is kind of somber for kicking off 2024. I think the number one way to live a successful life, and we've done 8 things that have never been done before, is give to others and ask nothing in return. Life's most urgent question, what am I doing to lighten the burden of my fellow man? How many of you agree with me? We got way too many people in this world that are moving behind gated communities and not caring about who's outside of them. I can't reach my full financial potential I can't reach my prosperity the best that I can be if my neighbor is wallowing in poverty. How many of you agree? Yeah. Canada changed my life. I learned from Canada how to be a man. Guys like Randy and Sheldon, I mean that sincerely. These guys are real men. They're tough as nails, but they're kind and they give anything off their back to help their fellow man, and have. I learned how to be tough but gentle. I learned how to be a patriot but not an asshole. How many of you know what I'm talking about right now? Don't get me wrong, I love the United States of America. That's my father, man. I wasn't born in North America like many of you. I was born in Iran. I was smuggled out of Iran by the United States Air Force. Yeah, and brought to the United States. I'm lucky to be free. So I always say, you know, the United States is like my dad, but Canada's like my mom. In my lowest times, Canada believed in me. In my times that I thought I had no value or worth, Canada said, you can do it and you can make it. When I thought I could be nothing and do nothing, Canada drew me close to its bosom and said, you can be and do all that you hope to be and do. Canada is a beacon of hope to people from around the world. Come, reach your dreams and reach your goals. But I'm going to be honest with you, Canadians. Your biggest challenge is that you're a teenager. What? Yeah, you're young. You're young as a nation. And you need to define who you are and what you are. What are your values and what are your principles? But you know what? You're not going to do that by saying this, oh, we're just not those dudes to the south. You can't define a country by what you're not. You define a country by what you are and what you stand for. And as I traveled from coast to coast, literally from Twillingate to Port Alberni, BC, from Hay River all the way down to Crystal Beach, Ontario, I learned some principles that I'm going to share with you. From farmers, from guys in the patch, from ladies making squares. How many of you had a good square in Alberta? Right? A good square in Alberta, man. For sure. The number one thing they taught me was this. Write it down. Take a note. If you want to kick it off, listen to the wisdom of Canadians. Number one, you have value and worth. I had an old boy in London, Ontario who had one leg because he had served in peacekeeping in Korea. He had one leg. I was being taken through the town of London on an election day. They wanted me to meet this man. And as we came around the corner, going into this elementary school, I saw a man, and he was one of those dudes you see, you know, on Remembrance Day. He got so many medals, he got a board on his chest. How many of you see that guy? Right? Got so many on a board on his chest. And I can see him, he's shaking people's hands as he walks in, and shaking people's hands as they walk in, shaking people's hands. And then I came around the corner and I could see he's got one leg. And as I get closer and closer to him, here's what I hear him saying: thank you for your service. Thank you for voting today. My service was not in vain. I said, I got to talk to this guy. And I said, sir, everyone tells me you're an amazing man. What piece of wisdom do you have to impart in me? And he said this: 70 billion people have lived on the planet, Ian, and there's nobody like you. There's never been anybody like you. There'll never be anybody like you. You're a rare and unique creature, Ian. You've been given certain talents and abilities, and you can make a significant difference. I'll say the same thing to you. 70 billion people have lived on the planet, and there's nobody like you. There was 70 billion of Bruno's fancy phone right there. This is Bruno's fancy phone right there. If there was 70 billion of that fancy phone right there, and there was one that was rare and unique, one that was handcrafted and handmade, one that was unlike all the others, how much would the unique one be worth? That's not this is the participation part of the program. So how much would the unique one be worth? Priceless. That's you. That's you, and that's you, and that's you, and that's you, and that's you. You're a priceless and rare and unique creature. Science tells us there's enough energy within you to light a small city. Science tells us there's no computer in the world that can touch your brain. I don't care about AI. No computer in the world can touch your brain. Science tells us there's never been anybody like you, and you're a rare and unique creature. You want to have a great 2024? Remind yourself of that each and every day. Before you open up your phone, before you open up your search engine, before you listen to all the nonsense and the crap. You are equipped with everything necessary to change the world. I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box, not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, not the sharpest tool in the tool shed. I took the short bus to school. How many of you ever took the short bus? I took the short bus to school. Every test that I took said I was developmentally delayed. No, that's true. Every test that I took. And yet I have the capacity and ability to do something great. You know, Bruno alluded to it, the boys alluded to it. We're launching a television network. Regular guys are launching a television network for men. Men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, 87% of the homes in Canada and the United States. We're literally saving men's lives every day. Why? Because middle-aged men are 70% more likely to take their own life than any other segment of the population. Regular people making a difference. The only skill that I have, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm too stupid to know what can't be done. Belief. Do you believe tomorrow can be better than yesterday? Absolutely. Do you believe that we have the potential and the capacity? I started coming to Canada 22 years ago. I remember sitting in a hotel room in Toronto saying and calling friends back home and saying, I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. No one ever gets killed here. There's nothing on the news about murder. No, 22 years ago, sitting in a hotel room every night for a week and never heard about anybody dying from a gun or a stabbing or hearing about people being kind and friendly and courteous. By show of hands, how many say that's not the Canada you know today? I'm concerned about my mom. My mom, Canada, I'm concerned. Do you believe in the depth of your being that tomorrow can be better than yesterday? Or are you like so many Canadians that I've met as I've traveled from coast to coast who've told me and looked me in the eye and said this, I don't know. I know it's bad. I don't know what can be done. You have capacity and you have ability. You're a rare and unique creature. 70 billion people have lived on the planet. There's nobody like you. Grant White, Twillingate, Newfoundland. You know what he taught me? He taught me that I have a choice. He taught me that I had a choice of my thoughts and my words and my actions. Twillingate's a fishing village. I've been there and spent time there. We donated a playground there. Grant eventually became the mayor. And he sat down with me as we sat on a beach. And he said to me, you know what? We can choose to make Twillingate something. They're not going to tell us to move from our town. They're not going to tell us they're going to shut this town down. We can choose to make this town something. So they got creative and they got innovative. And they learned how to do internet. They knew how to do sales. And all of a sudden they're making chocolates and they take their old lighthouse and turn it into a restaurant. And now if you Google Twillingate, Newfoundland, it's a destination. Why? Because they made a choice. They didn't worry about what they couldn't do. They worried about what they could do. How about you? How about you? What's that idea that's sitting in the bottom drawer that could literally change somebody's life? What's the relationship that you've given up on? That you've just said it can never be fixed. It'll never be taken care of. I've just resolved myself to the fact that I'll never be in that relationship again. You're in control of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. They are a choice. And then finally, Linda Alonzi. She's a principal, coal miner's daughter, tough as nails. She taught me about responsibility. She's a principal. She has 68 languages spoken in the school that she leads. 68 languages, 2 of them unwritten African languages. How many say that's a tough job? You know what she said one time? I have a responsibility for every one of these young people. And I will take that responsibility. Canada changed my life. What's Canada done for you? What's it given you? And what will you do? Every once in a while in human history, regular people are called upon to do extraordinary things. This is one of those times. And whether it's a suicide rate and mental health issues, whether it's issues with our kids, whether it's issues of our economy, whether it's issues of our open space, whether it's issues of our climate, our natural resources. I don't know what floats your boat, but get in. Take 2024 and say, I'm going to make a difference. No, look, I'm not saying we're going to solve the Middle East crisis. I'm not saying we're going to take care of global warming. But how many of you agree with me you can handle your corner of the world? Yes. Every one of you in this room can handle your corner of the world. I'll tell you what I'm going to do in 2024 for Canada. We're going to launch a television network. Yeah. We're going to launch a television network from my mom. Why? Because I've met thousands of good Canadians that just want something to believe in again. How many of you agree? Yes. Just want to say and be proud again. So we're going to launch a network. It's going to be in 83% of the homes across Canada. And it's going to be on 97% of people's hands in Canada. And it's going to preach a message that there's good things happening in this country every day. And that there's miracles happening every day. And from small businesses to medium-sized businesses to regular nonprofits, we're kicking ass every day. So let's tell that good story. Let's tell the story of the people and the places. Let's tell the story of the organizations. Let's tell the story and let's galvanize a country, not a political movement, not a political movement, but a movement of society that says we can be a beacon of hope to the rest of the world. I appreciate what Miranda and Bruno and Greg and the rest of the team are doing, because you know what they're doing? They're galvanizing small business across Canada. They're galvanizing medium-sized businesses across Canada. They're going to be in 14 markets across Canada. And they're going to be doing events just like this. And they're going to be celebrating the great things that business people are doing, the engine of our community are doing. And we're going to be they're on the grassroots, and we're going to be at the grass tops. So I want you to be looking for this network at the end of February. Now here's the crazy thing. What's it called? I have no idea. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to let you tell us what the name should be. It's going to be your network. As sure as I'm standing here. And it's never been done before anywhere in the world. So we're going to give you 7 names to choose from. We're going to let you vote. You tell us what you want it to be called, and then we'll call it that. And who do we have on board? We got some great people on board. People like John Montgomery. You ever heard of John Montgomery? Amazing Race Canada. He's coming to the network. Now, he's going to stay with Amazing Race. I want to be clear. But he's also coming to the network. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm a rare and unique creature with incredible talent and ability. I got a choice of what I'm going to do with my thoughts, my words, my actions. I'm going to act on my responsibility, and I'm going to give back to the mom that changed my life. What are you going to do with 2024? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Oh, we'll keep that for after.
Dance interlude here.
Oh. These young kids, all they want to do is rock and roll. What do you want to do with your... Oh, no, sorry. It's the wrong video. Thank you very much, Ian. That was great. Let's give him another round of applause. And just before you get a little too warm over there, you're going to come back up here. We're going to take some questions from the crowd. So we'd love to bring up Emily.
Everybody.
And where's Lisa? Come on up. So
Hot
I'm going to...
seats.
Well, I got to go this way or else I'm going to get some feedback. All right, we're going to take a couple of questions from the crowd. Just put up your hand if you have a question. Thanks, Paul. All right, who's got the first question?
Oh, come on, don't be shy now.
I've got a question.
Hey.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Hey, everybody. Wow. Thank you so much. My name is Vanessa Kennedy. I've got a question for everybody up there right now. To be successful, what do you do to recenter yourselves at the end of the day? Because this is a lot of energy leaving your bodies, leaving your minds every single day. How do you get back to yourselves?
Who wants to start?
Thank you.
She does.
Point their finger at me. Great question, Vanessa. I think it depends on what it is that you need. If you're an introvert, you might need to just have some time to yourself because it's a lot of energy to be around a lot of people. Some people get more energy from being around this many people, and that's what recharges them. Myself, I am definitely more of that introvert. But I spend my time by myself. I have a lot of self-practices. So when it comes to the end of the day, I'll actually tell you what I do. I actually have a device called a beamer, and it increases blood flow in the body, and I go to sleep on that every single night. So I actually lay down and let this device increase my blood flow as I'm falling asleep. That's what I do. But maybe if you don't have a beamer, I mean, you can get a beamer, but there are other things that you can do to help just spend time with your body and be with yourself. I do encourage that, because going on your phone is not the most restorative thing to do, because it's just going to get the mind busy again. You know, like the mind is busy and it distracts you from the body, and your body needs your attention too. Oh, somebody else.
Thank you, Emily. Wow, so my wine and flipping through social media is not like the best idea. Okay, noted. I go to sleep. I sleep like a baby. Yeah, I take a nap and then I go to sleep. So that's how I rest at the end of the day. But seriously, I do try to put my device away, because I'm addicted. We're all addicted. But reading is how I like to unwind. And it takes about one sentence and I'm out. So I like to think I read for hours. No, it's about 30 seconds. So there you go.
They're both a lot more smarter than me. So I think your question was about centering, right? How do we find center again? So number one, have a deep and compelling purpose. That deep and compelling purpose acts as my lighthouse. So no matter how the tempest and the winds blow, I can always relate to my lighthouse and navigate off of that. Two, have somebody that's loving, caring, and believes in you. That's Jenna for me. Give Jenna a big round of applause. Good Saskatchewan girl. So I really am now going to be a Canadian, because that's my fiance from Saskatchewan. So, and then thirdly, I think that the trivial. Eliminate the trivial, focus on what matters exclusively. All the other stuff is just noise.
All right. Oops. Check one. Kenton, I need some volume. Oh, there we go.
Gregory.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Boulanger.
Hey guys, thanks so much, panel. You've brought some great energy, some great knowledge, some great insights and tips. I really appreciate this. Ian, man, you are a passionate dude. You're on a mission. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate your message. What I'm wondering, you're talking about men's mental health and focusing on that. How is your TV network going to address men's mental health? Is it with the show? Is it the programming? Sure. Maybe share a little bit of that, please.
For sure. Thank you, Greg. And it seems like that it doesn't make any sense. How is a television network going to reduce the suicide rate in North America? One, we're going to engage men and build a community. We have literally millions of men now that we've galvanized on both sides of the North American border. We're going to build trusting relationships with those men, offer sports and offer sports talk, The Ride with Chevy and Nasty, right? Tune into that, late night, funny, interesting, and compassionate, great show. So we build trusting relationships with the audience, and then we sprinkle it with the mental health message. Destigmatize the conversation quickly, very quickly. This happened today. One of the reasons that I was late. We got a phone call from a lady in Texas. We built this network of men. I've got a man who's in trouble. I was able to call North Carolina. They called San Antonio. They called two men. They got in a car. They drove to Corpus Christi. They were at that man's house in 2.5 hours. You want to know how a television network is going to change the world? I just told you, because we're going to build a community rather than just a network. And it's the same thing that we're going to do with the network here in Canada.
All right, we have another question in the gold seats.
Well, congratulations on your success. I would like to know who the person in your life influenced your success the most, other than a parent.
Bull crap, girl.
That's really difficult to say because I have to attribute a lot of the reason why I am the way I am to my parents. You know, mother, father. The other person would be my sister. I've known my sister my entire life. I still do. And she's probably the person that pushes my buttons the most. And it has helped me to grow as a human being, to do the things that Ian so eloquently spoke about, to develop my compassion, my kindness, my tolerance of myself. So absolutely 100% my family.
If you say wine, I'm going to slap you.
That's the Sunday school answer to everything. Wine. It's Jesus. Just okay. So I would have to say it's, you know, what do they say? We're the average of the top 5 people we spend a lot of time with. And truly, when I was building my business, because I'll relate to that part, when I rebranded and relaunched my company in 2015, my mentors were all in my head. They were all podcast and social media stars. To this day, I don't know if I've even met any of them. And they completely gave me confidence telling their stories. And there were about 5 women that I would religiously listen to I suck up every little piece of content, podcast, Instagram, like you name it, I sucked it up. And they were in my head. And so they were the ones who said it's possible for me to do great things. And it was so cool because sometimes there's no one in our physical life who believes in us. I actually always say that actually for me, the most challenging people were my parents. My dad, and I, by the way, come from an amazing family. I don't have any trauma stories. I really came from a beautiful family. My family's pretty awesome. But they're the biggest critics in my head. The 2 biggest critics were always my ex-husband and my father in my head all the time. And they actually gave me this like reason to go out and like kind of like push in this, you know, patriarchal world and, you know, that whole thing, right? But that's why I am where I am today. Maybe because they pushed me so hard and they didn't believe in me. They didn't believe I could do where I'm at, and to this day I still don't get that support from them. Now I'm looking for men who support me, which is a total great thing, but my point is sometimes the people closest to us are the most challenging. That's been my experience. So just a side note, like even though they're amazing people though, that's why I'm saying I'm not like bashing any of them. I really am truly loved, but the support does not come across as support. So I had to turn to things like books and podcasts.
Very good. The question around who made a significant difference, I know it sounds like pandering and trite. It was the people that I was naming for me. Tim Carson, none of you know who he is. He's the executive director, president of the Alberta Agricultural Societies. After I went through my crash and I was in the toilet, drove my life in a ditch because I didn't want to live, destroyed my company in Canada, destroyed my company in the United States, destroyed my worldwide charity, Tim Carson said, why don't you speak to all the farmers in Alberta? I said, nobody wants me. He said, we want you. Get your ass up here to Edmonton and speak to all the farmers of Alberta. So I think, as you said, it doesn't have to be somebody in your immediate sphere, which means all of us have the power to make that significant difference that your parents did, that those podcasts and information and people did, and that Tim Carson for me did. You don't have to be so close to somebody. It can be just one believing human being makes all the difference in the world.
All right, we got a question over here from somebody who's taller than I am.
Hey folks, I'm Spencer Sleeg. I'm from Vanguard Cleaning. This is a question for anyone out here as well. You don't have to answer it right now, but feel free to come up and give me some advice after this. But specifically for the folks on the stage, I'm young. I'm just entering kind of the local business community. If you could go back and tell yourself something when you were just starting to help you help your community, what would that be?
I'm moving slow so people have time to think.
Let's start with Ian this time. I've been putting Emily on the spot.
Number one, find something that breaks your heart, something that moves you deeply. Look in the search engine, find someone who's doing it, and go. And give of yourself, and ask nothing in return. If that doesn't fulfill you, then sit down and ask yourself why it wasn't fulfilling, why it wasn't meaningful. And then if that experience wasn't fulfilling, maybe you can do something yourself around that thing that makes you cry. I always say, when people ask me that same question, I just say, what makes you cry? What breaks your heart? Jump into that. Get some fulfillment out of that. And then the last thing I'd say is 100 cups of coffee, man. No, follow me. Make a list of people that you want to learn from, you want to grow from, you want to just go have 100 cups of coffee. Call them on the phone, send them an email. I just want to learn from you. And then sit and do 80% listening, 20% talking, and learn from those people. And you'll be deeply integrated into the community within 3 months, 4 months.
He took my answer. No, just joking. Do one thing and do it very well. That was my biggest mistake. Sometimes we spread ourselves so thin. I like to think of it like sometimes our energy is so scattered. And I think do one thing, do it very well, master it before you start taking on a whole bunch of different things. I say this to investors too, by the way. If you're investing on a money note, are you into too many things? I work a lot with real estate investors, and they're doing way too many strategies, taking on way too much. I'm like, focus on one, get really good at it. Same with your business. Focus on one stream of revenue, master that before you're spreading yourself too thin on so many different levels. You can have multiple streams of income. Just do it and do that well first. So, and that's part of where this other piece comes from. There's that Casey Musgraves song that's called Follow Your Arrow. And it's like you can follow your arrow wherever it goes. You can point your arrow wherever you want it to point, but once you point that dang arrow, please follow it through. What I see in society as a whole, and this is my biggest frustration, is like people do not stay loyal to anything nowadays. Again, just going on my dating rant, but people do not stay loyal. I've been in business doing the same thing for 23 years. I've been with the same I'm 44 years old. I've been with the same company since I was 22, 23. So that is so rare, because I'm loyal to the core, and I'm not going to give up. I am not going to give up, no matter what happens. So don't give up.
I love what both of you said, and I second that. I keep envisioning myself as a 6-year-old little girl. The part of me that had so many dreams, and I felt like I wanted to do so much, like I wanted to make a difference. And if my higher self, even not the self that I am right now, but the self that is the ultimate version of me out there, I would take that self and have that self go talk to my 6-year-old self and say, you can do that. It's okay. You can do that. If that's a thing that you love to do, then do it. And if you change your mind, that's okay. Because I had these beliefs that I've got to pick one thing. I've got to do one thing. And I love to do so many different things. I mean, I ended up in this fitness position because, well, I chose to, but I also ruled out a whole bunch of other things that were passions of mine. And it's not to say that one is better than the other, but I think what matters is that you're doing something wholeheartedly, and that you are just invested in what you're doing because you believe in it, and you believe that you are the one to do that very thing. I mean, I love what you said, Ian, about belief, because it's the thing that can die out. That's the part of us that decays as we get older. So to reignite that belief in yourself, no matter what your business is, what your idea is, and then surround yourself with people that have that already, like the mentorship. Thank you for the question.
Just before I take, we have time for 3 more questions. I want to remind everybody that the last one, we never want to compare how one event was to the other event, but, you know, we got to elevate this a little bit. No, I'm just joking. No, the other event went on to the other pub right next door till, like, I think, Blair, when was your last call? 1 o'clock? So I'm not encouraging drinking and driving or anything. I'm encouraging to continue the questioning. Spencer is one of my favorites, and he's just smart enough to ask that question because we're all in the same boat. And extend what I call the 2 minutes. Go talk to people, okay? If you have too many drinks, we'll pay for your Uber, whatever. But extend this period of people wanting to give you free advice, okay? And so anyways, I'm not pontificating, I'm just saying, feel free. We're probably going to be, where are we meeting today? Like back in the same place? And we're going to meet at what is it called? King's or Henry's or something? And extend these, because we only have time for 3 more questions, but let's get this thing going. So we have one here, and then we'll come back. There we go.
Perfect, thanks. Spencer, first off, great question. Mine might be a continuation of that. And also, Greg, thanks for the invite. Events like this are fantastic. Ian, in your speech, you touched on that idea in the bottom of your drawer and what has Canada done for us. And recently, I've been having a conversation with one of my mentors about, passion or purpose. I think everybody could be passionate about multiple things. I'm passionate about drumming. I'm passionate about music, whatever it is. But when or how did you truly unlock your real purpose in life?
I'll make it brief. So I would just reframe it slightly and say the vocation, the vehicle to exercise your purpose changes, as was just said. So I've been changing the world since I was 19. It just was a different vehicle. Whether that was coaching, I was a young coach, and then some of you know I used to run a big hotel casino, and then we started opening schools, and then we started doing youth centers and then giving away playgrounds, and a lot of it just came out of my own life experience. But the purpose piece is, why am I alive? Not what the vehicle is. And too oftentimes I think we confuse the two. We say, this thing is my purpose. No, your purpose is probably lighten the burden of your fellow man. This is just what you're fired up about today. And then you might be fired up about something else and something else and something else. I mean, very, very rare that an individual is there for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Rare. So rare. Usually I'm there, my skill set, 36 to 48 months and I'm out. Because that's the limitation of my skill set. I'm a starter, I start things. So I would just say very directly, why are you on the planet? And then channel that through a bunch of different things as you go through your life, whether you're the janitor or the CEO. Live out that why, and then purpose kind of takes care of itself, if that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, we have another question here. Second last question.
Thanks, Bruno. I want to say, Bruno, thanks for laying on such a great event. Been to a few networking events, and what I want to say about this one is this has heart, it has a sense of purpose and direction, so thank you so much. Also love the questions in terms of how we start, purpose, and then what I want to speak to in terms of, obviously you're all making a massive difference in people's lives right now. So right now, I believe you're in that sort of current legacy. What does your legacy look like 2 or 3 generations from now? Bit of a deep question, but I see how you're impacting lives. Sorry, Richard Foster from Oak Clay Partners. I'll start again. What I want to say is the impact that you're making on lives in the here and now. Let's take it forward 2 or 3 generations from now. What is the legacy and the lasting impact you want to have on the souls that you're interacting with now, but also 2 to 3 generations from now, if that makes sense?
We have some seriously brilliant minds in the room tonight. Like, who wants to take a stab at this?
I got it. Well, and the only reason I say I got it is because that's how I think. We're going to reduce the suicide rate amongst middle-aged men that has generational impact. When a man takes his life, the ripple effect is tragic. Some of you in the room can relate to what I'm talking about right now. You know or you have somebody that succumbed to suicide. If we can reduce the suicide rate amongst middle-aged men, we will make a generational impact. This is going to sound very verbose and borderline arrogant. The television network that we will launch in Canada, of which Megapix is a part, will make a generational impact in this country because it will galvanize the nation in the most important time in the history of the country. It will have a generational impact because Canadians will come together and finally decide what they stand for. And they'll articulate those values by telling the stories, the great stories that are happening every day. So I agree with you that we do need to think in terms of generational, but I'll use the quote from Pericles: the true generational impact isn't the monument that they hold up that'll last 500 years. It's my name etched on somebody's heart. And all of us have that capacity. We can all etch our names on somebody's heart.
Great question, Richard. My response to that would be to first start from my own personal level on what it is that I'm doing to heal my own generational traumas. And for me, that starts with internal work. Some of you may be familiar with some of the shamanic traditions. And one of the shamanic traditions that I study and have been working with very closely for many, many, many years is a tradition based out of Peru. And I've worked with great shamans to do work that, if I may be experiencing and doing that work myself, but it has an impact on 7 generations before me and 7 generations after. So what that means is I actually have the opportunity to heal the ancestral traumas that have been carried on in my family lineage. And then by me stopping that chain reaction, it has an impact on anyone that comes after me. And it's difficult to explain. It blows my mind sometimes. I don't have children. It just hasn't worked out yet, maybe. But I have a niece and a nephew. And I absolutely know that the work that I'm doing is affecting them. And so then you expand that into your community. And then what I do is I just do my best to take what I know and what I've learned for myself and have a positive impact or influence on the people around me. I just start with the people close to me, and what an opportunity to have a network, to be able to have even more expansion and that kind of ripple effect.
I love how we all are speaking to our own health, wealth, and relationships. Like, this is so great. I'm going to talk about money because one of the things I have said, and money is so important. We need money. We're not doing anything without money. Don't kid yourself. Money does buy happiness. By the way, it doesn't buy all happiness. It does buy happiness. It does. It buys your time back. It buys your life back. Money is very important. And if that's one of your mindsets, I'm going to tell you right now to challenge you on that. I always say in all my talks, and it was funny because I actually talked to a room of 350 sort of like accountants, and I challenged all of them on this, and I'm like, this is what I want to leave you with, is it only takes 3 to 5 hours of basic financial planning, and you can change your family's financial trajectory for generations to come. 3 to 5 hours. I sit down with clients all day long, and I get them to do basic things. You need to have a will. Why? Because you get to direct where your money goes. Doesn't go to wherever the government directs it to go. Simple things like making sure you have life insurance. I can say this because he gave me permission. I went on a date with a guy last week, first date, but he told me his wife passed away a year before. And he told me they put off buying life insurance, and she was only 50. So these things completely impact families for a generation to come. You think life insurance, it's just life insurance. No, it's life insurance. This changes your family for generations to come. And it's cheap as borscht if you get it when you're young. I do talks on how the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and how actual families have created generational wealth. And there are tools and things, not talking strategy, but I'm just saying there are things that are so easy and you can do with small amounts of money. But why is that important? Because money buys us options, access, and choices and experiences. So that is really important to take to the next generations, is to, I believe, to leave them with money. I am so adamant about that because I want to give my kids what, like, I maybe didn't get, right? And I came from a very middle-class, average family. And I mean, I'm very blessed. Like, my education was paid for, very blessed. But I want to do more, and I want to teach my kids what to do with that and how to create businesses to impact more lives. Like, there's a whole ripple effect here. And so that's what I think when it comes to leading and changing generations to come. And that's what my big passion with Canadian families, that's 100% what I'm here to do.
All right, we got one last question from Blair Beisel. Just in case you don't know who Blair is, he's the one with the very handsome older brother. Younger brothers are always so jealous, right? So Blair's with Spike Flight Analytics.
Thanks for that, Bruno. Appreciate it. I guess for the last question, no pressure. What I'd like to know is from each of you, just one effective habit that you do in your life that's made change, that helped you with success. So if each of you could just say one habit that we could all take away, what would it be?
Did Brad give you that question?
Mine's so obvious. I work out. I wish it was deeper than that.
Just drop the mic.
I work out.
Mic drop.
Right?
Mic drop.
My one habit is my hours in the morning. So I wake up, basically my habit is waking up super early, but that's when I find the world is sleeping and the channels are clearer. You can connect, you can think, you can process, you can plan and dream and visualize. So for me, it's like early morning, my habit of like doing my meditations, my prayers, my journaling, that is the number one habit, is waking up early and doing that.
That's good. Will you give these ladies a round of applause? This is amazing. My habit is a little bit less tangible. Love the person that's in front of me at any given time, the best of my ability. Life works out pretty good for you at that point.
All right. Check, check. All right. Go ahead, Brenda. Sorry.
Zip it, Bruno. It's
I
my
will.
turn. Kidding. I'm floored. I don't think we could have asked for a better night. I'm feeling energized. I feel like my 2024 has just my goals and ambitions. I have a lot of notes. I gotta write those down before I forget, but I hope that everyone else is feeling as inspired and excited to take on a new journey or to rewrite your history or take that leap of faith or whatever you were thinking about walking into this room. I hope that we've pushed you to new heights with this incredible panel of individuals, and I feel like each question and answer just took it to a whole new level. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let Bruno have the last words, but as he mentioned, if you want to continue to connect and network, please feel free to come have a drink with us and continue the conversation. But thank you from my whole heart for joining us for such a special conversation.
I'm actually not going to have the last word, but we have a couple of gifts here. Which one's this? One's Ian's. Thank you very much. It's like an Italian wedding. Emily. And I wonder who's, there you go. I don't have a chair here, so I'm going to stand up. I just wanted to thank everybody for literally coming out, supporting us, all that kind of stuff. And I just want to add something. Life is tough, just as it is. And look around the room. I don't know everybody. I apologize if I don't talk to you guys. I will reach out to me. Don't worry about it. But I look around the room and I can, tell a story about most of the people out there because I know some of them. And, I'd like to point out my good friend Bruno Picconi, who's been a mentor without even knowing. And extraordinary man, and I've been blessed around there. And something my father told me, and I'm going to tell you what my mom told me. And I want to maybe throw this out for 2024 that's helped me out, and this is probably why I have great partners in our business. Number one, my dad said, never expect you from anybody else. Ever. Okay? Because what you want to get in life, maybe the other guy doesn't want to get. Okay? So don't expect somebody to jump in the fire if you're drinking water. It sounds a little bit better in Italian, right, Randy? But it's okay. And the second thing is never try to find somebody else until you found yourself. So that's my mom, right? And she was talking about getting married, okay? I'm sure she wanted me to marry that Italian girl. But anyways, all I'm saying is that that's helped me, and I want to share that with you because that's kind of the cornerstone of what we're trying to do with Megapix and YYC and YOG and blah, 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 is connect small to medium-sized businesses to go out there and kick the crap out of all our fears and achieve what you need to achieve. So I'm going to bring up my good friend. Where's my good friend? Oh, we wrote a song for Canada, too. We'll play that later, maybe, if you want. The Colonel's going, play the song. These damn young kids. Okay, Kate, come on up. Thanks, everybody. We'll be chatting with you guys after.
All right. Thank you, guys. This was an amazing show, amazing speakers, and I appreciate our hosts and all of our sponsors again. I would love to take this minute to bring up Anila from the Center for Newcomers. She has graciously given really cool, there's earrings, there's cufflinks, they're on the table, you are free to take one. They're actually blessed, like sweetgrass, built into the jewelry, to the keychain, so really cool for those guys to do that. I want to let everybody know that from, come on up, Anila, let everybody know that from the sponsorship and from the t-shirt sales, exclusive t-shirt sales, which you can still get, we have raised and would like to donate $2,000 to the Center for Newcomers, so thank you. Yeah. I would just love for Anila to give a quick overview of what they're doing and the impact that they're having in our community.
Thank you, everyone. I know I am keeping you from your dinners, right? As some of my team got fries and you all got jealous, and I apologize for that. So at the Center for Newcomers, we're the largest settlement agency in Alberta. A settlement agency is an organization that is predominantly funded by the government, by all three levels, and also private donations and family donations as well. And what we do is we work with any newcomer to Canada, so immigrants and refugees predominantly. And we see about 40,000 newcomers every year come through our center. We're located in Marlborough, in the area of Marlborough. So for those of you that are born and raised Calgarians like myself, we're in the first IKEA building. So we took over that entire space. So for those of you that know that reference. We used to be in Franklin Mall, which is no longer Franklin Mall. And so now we're over at the IKEA. And it's a really great community hub. I encourage you to come and visit. I encourage you to host your events at the center. We have an auditorium that seats 200 people. We have our own catering company, which is made up of predominantly, it's open for men or women to join, but usually we get mostly women that will join. All of these women have tried to get a job in Canada, have not been successful. Most of them have never had a job in their lives. And so they come through our catering program. We pay them. They learn how to run their own business, their own catering business. They learn life skills. They learn how to do resumes and cover letters. And our success rate for them after this 10-week program is about 97% of them on the day of graduation will already have a job. For some of them, this is their forever job. They're very happy with it, and some of them, it's a stepping stone as they go on to other schooling or as they go on to get their credentials recognized for whatever other positions that they want to do. So I encourage you to look at ethnicity catering as a potential place that you could get some food from. We serve cuisine from all over the world, hence ethnicity catering. It is started as a collective kitchen model for immigrant women, refugee women to come together. And I just wanted to give a little bit of a spotlight right now in terms of some of the things that are happening in our community. Of course, we all know inflation rates are very high. We know that housing crunches are very high as well. Like we've got a really big housing crunch. One of our biggest issues that we're facing currently is with the increased number of Ukrainian people that we have here and increased number of other refugees like Afghan refugees and other people, we're not getting enough English language classes. The government is just not, unfortunately, paying for enough of those classes, and we're finding that it is helping to increase the level of poverty towards, for these people, because if you can't speak basic English, you can't go get a job and you can't even move around the community, right? And be able to like take the bus or do any of those kind of things. So for us to do rapid English, which we've been doing now since the first Ukrainian community members started arriving a couple of years ago, it costs $5,000 predominantly, and we can put about 40 people through that course in 5 weeks, and they'll have enough English to be able to actually go on and be successful within 5 weeks to be able to start, and then they stay on the waiting list for the regular free program as well. So all of this is free services, but it's something that I just wanted to really highlight, is that is a real big issue that we seem to be facing right now across the country, is that there aren't enough English language classes. So even for any of you that have time to volunteer for conversation circles, right, to volunteer to come to either us or one of our partners, the Immigrant Education Society, Calgary Immigrant Women's Association, any of these other organizations that do English classes and offer them. If you have the opportunity to volunteer, that would be really wonderful as well, because we're always looking for people that can at least help this very specific vulnerable community of people that are not able to access English language classes yet, to be able to at least start learning English. And you know, with all of you fine folks, I'm sure you know, it'll make it easier when they've got friendly faces that are actually wanting to have conversations with them. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, I hope that this kicked off your January in the health, wealth, and relationships. I hope you made great connections. I hope that you took away some tips from these amazing speakers, and I hope that we jumpstart drinks and food. So one last round of applause. Great job, everybody, for coming here and showing up and being present. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Good.